Exclusive. She told police I took him overnight. Quinton Simon's father reveals the Georgia toddler's prime suspect mother tried to pin the 18-month-old's disappearance on him, but says he hasn't seen his son in months. That's a typo because we know Quinton is 20 months old. The mother named as a suspect in the murder of her 20-month-old son, Quinton Simon, tried to pin his disappearance on his biological father, DailyMail.com has learned. Leilani Simon told police that her ex-lover snatched the toddler from her Savannah home in the darkness of night, prompting police to track down and confront Quinton's long-absent father shortly after she reported him missing on October 5th. DailyMail.com located the tragic boy's biological father at his home 85 miles from Savannah, and in an exclusive interview, Henry Moss, who is also known as Bubba, revealed how his ex tried to blame him for the boy's vanishing. Leilani's tried to blame it on me, the shaggy-haired 24-year-old told DailyMail.com in a soft southern drawl. He said he was mowing his boss's lawn when police pulled up. They asked, "Did I have him? And when was the last time I was in Savannah?" he recalled. They told me, "Leilani said I came and got him overnight." Bubba, who lives in Girard, Georgia, a rural town of 250 people, told police that he hadn't been anywhere near Savannah for a month when he installed an air conditioner in nearby Tybee Island, where Leilani and her mother, Billie Joe Howe, were seen downing tequila shots in a bar a week after Quinton's disappearance. Bubba vowed he told police the truth, that he was home when Quinton disappeared, and that he left for work at 7:40 that morning. He said he presented alibis and that there was also CCTV footage from the next door gas station that proved he didn't leave his home overnight. At that time, it was just a missing persons case. "I told police she's gonna hurt that baby," he recalled. "I said I didn't know what's going on. Hell, I haven't heard from her in 6 to 7 months. During the interview, Bubba proceeded to share his turbulent backstory with the woman suspected of killing their son. Bubba, who has 2 daughters with another woman, said he met Leilani at a swimming hole in 2019. Leilani had her own child, Zane. They started dating and she became pregnant with Quinton in 2020. She initially kept it a secret. She didn't tell me until months later that she was pregnant, Bubba recalled. I didn't have no say in it, really. He said Leilani went to Alabama to give birth to Quinton in January of 2021. So Bubba's name wasn't on the original birth certificate. She then returned home. He was happy, always smiling, Bubba said of Quinton. He really didn't scream a lot. He was a good baby. He said the tipping point in their relationship came in February of 2021 after he was served with an arrest warrant for breaking into a trailer home back in June of 2020. Leilani had already been arrested for the crime committed in the mobile home park in nearby Waynesboro, where she was living with her mother, Billie Joe Howe. Leilani, however, blamed Bubba. A police incident report obtained by DailyMail.com states that Leilani allegedly cut her way through a screen window and stole $50 from a coin jar. The 40-year-old victim who owned the trailer called the cops. When asked who he, the victim, thought was responsible, he pointed out a female, later identified as Leilani Marie Simon, who lives next door and was currently standing outside. The investigator states in the report, I then spoke with Miss Simon, and while doing so, she admitted to entering the camper and taking all the change from inside of the coin jar. Miss Simon added that her child's father, Henry Bubba Moss, came over at approximately 8 a.m. today and convinced her to help him enter the camper. Miss Simon stated that since he couldn't fit through the window, she did instead, the report adds. Leilani was charged with first-degree burglary, a felony. It was pleaded down to criminal trespass, court records show, and she was given 12 months probation. She is still on that probation and another probationary period for a 2021 theft in North Carolina. A warrant was issued for Bubba's arrest in the Waynesboro case, but he said he didn't know it at the time. Later that summer, a woman in another trailer there had her black and white Harley-Davidson wallet stolen. The owner confronted Leilani, who blamed Bubba again. Mrs. Simon stated Mr. Henry Moss had stolen it, the incident report states. But the report points out that the victim didn't witness the theft and no arrest was made. The property owner told DailyMail.com that he evicted Leilani and Billie Joe, who was working as a union worker at a nearby nuclear plant that summer. Leilani then moved in with Bubba in the nearby city of Hiltonia. But the relationship proved a disaster. Bubba described her as a cheater and a liar, a homemaker who spent her days snorting cocaine and smoking marijuana. She did cocaine every day, all day, as much as she could, he said. Leilani also exhibited a violent temper and would lash out at him when she was craving more drugs, according to Bubba. When she didn't get no money from me to get effing drugs, she'd go crazy, he said. She hit me a few times in the face. He said Leilani would also sleep with other men to get cash for drugs. Everything fell apart after he received the arrest warrant in mid-February of 2021. He had his best friend Morgan record her admitting she framed him. I'm saying, why did you do that though? Bubba could be heard telling Leilani on the recording obtained by DailyMail.com. That is effed up. I can't believe it still. Huh? What? You're gonna tell them the effing truth now or what? Yes, Bubba, I'm going to tell them the truth, she replies. I've already called up there. They have so many different effing recorded messages when you call them. I'm going to tell the truth, that you didn't do anything. I know, but damn, you shouldn't be lying and everything else. That we be together and everything else, he snaps back. Damn, man, you effing my life up with this, he continues. I got locked up. I mean, it's effing stupid. Why I'm so mad? There should have never been no mother effing charges, he argues. The 5-minute recording also shed light on other aspects of their relationship. At the time, Quinton was about 7 weeks old, and Bubba was still questioning whether he was the actual father. I'll keep the baby and take care of him and all, so if he's mine, we're going to get a DNA test, he said. If he's mine, I would want to put this mother effing name right on his birth certificate and change his last name. He can live with me. I'll do that. Put him in mother effing daycare. Whatever I've got to do, I'll take care of him. I promise you that. He then accuses her of sleeping with other men to suggest that maybe he's not the father. I ain't effed nobody but Bubba Moss in 2021, she insists, though she'd become pregnant with Quinton the year prior. I ain't never effed Tim either. That boy's a child. After the argument, Bubba and Leilani split up. She left town later that year. The only reason I'm not in Quinton's life is because she left, he told DailyMail.com. She was not welcome here anymore with all her lying and stealing. Bubba has experienced his own trouble with the law, admitting he previously been arrested for fighting, criminal trespass, and possession of marijuana. At the time of the disappearance, Leilani was living in Savannah with Quinton and Zane, her boyfriend Danny Youngkin, Billy Joe, and her husband Thomas Howe. Billy Joe obtained legal custody of Quinton and his now 3-year-old brother Zane, but she was reportedly out of town October 5th. Police say Quinton was last seen by his mother's boyfriend, Youngkin, around 6 a.m. It wasn't until after 9 a.m. that his mother reported him missing. Bubba said cops from the local sheriff's office confronted him later that morning. The next day, he drove to Savannah and spoke with the FBI. They wanted to talk to me, he said. They were asking me a lot more questions about her. He said investigators also had him take a DNA test to prove his paternity, and it came back a match. The next night, he stopped by Billy Joe's house to speak with Leilani and her mother, who were gathered in the backyard. To him, it seemed more like a party than a time of grief. Every one of them was high as a kite and drunk as hell, he told DailyMail.com. Leilani was on something. She wasn't crying when I walked up. She was laughing and having a good time with everybody. It looked like a party. I didn't tell her what the FBI told me, he said. All I said was, how did Quinton go missing? How did a 20-month-old go walk out? She didn't have anything to say to me, he added. All she said was she was sorry and that she didn't know what happened to him. That's all she does is lies. He said that a few minutes after he spoke with her, she cried. Authorities would later drain the backyard pool, which was full when Bubba stopped by. A week after the disappearance, police announced that they believe Quinton is dead and named his mother as the prime suspect. The FBI has been searching a nearby landfill where they believe Quinton's body was dumped. As the search got underway early last week, Leilani and her mother left town for an overnight stay in Tybee Island, where they were seen laughing and smiling while downing Patron shots with several friends at Stingray's, a popular bar across the street from their motel. Bubba said he's shocked Leilani hasn't yet been arrested. I can't believe she ain't locked up now, Bubba said. She's a terrible person and she's going to jail or hell. She's evil. She shouldn't be here out in society. If she didn't want him, she could have told me, he added. I would have come and got him.